Hello, welcome to WordPress development video series. In this series, we're going to talk about how to become a good WordPress developer. And this video specifically is about WordPress developer resources. So most of us, when we want to learn a new technology, a new language, we don't watch the full tutorial or just don't read a whole book to learn that. We just jump right into it, and whenever we hit a problem, we just search it. And that's the way. So for WordPress related problems, in the first three results, you always see WordPress developer resources. The address is developer.wordpress.org, as you see, and this website is a complete documentation about anything in WordPress: themes, plugins, APIs, anything. So actually this website has an older version. The older version is available at the address of codex.wordpress.org, which you can see it here. There is still some live pages here, and they are good pages, I mean it. There is a lot of user contributed codes in this website that you can see, but for most of the functions, hooks, classes, and methods, as you can see here, you will redirect to WordPress new code reference website, which is this. But still, you can see some documentation here that are not transferred to the new website. So in WordPress developer resources, you will see some main sections: coding standards, code reference, blog editor, which is Gutenberg and React, and the common APIs like themes API, like options API and everything. Themes development, which is the theme developer handbook, which is a whole tutorial on how to make a theme. And here is the plugins development. This is the theme handbook, but you can see there is anything you need to know about how to develop a WordPress theme. And the same for plugins. And REST API, which is the most powerful thing about WordPress and WordPress CLI. What we want to see here is code reference. We will do another video on all of these sections, but code reference is our topic here. So this is the main page of the code reference. You can see that we have four main sections here: functions, hooks, classes, and methods. And you can browse it or search in it. There's two another sections here, new and updated in WordPress latest version, which is the functions, method, and everything that is updated or is new in the latest version of the WordPress. And in the right section, you will see the API, which makes the WordPress a beast. We're not gonna search here and teach you how to search in this page, but we're gonna talk about that, what we can learn from that documentation page. Okay, let's open up one of these functions. For example, let's open get post parent. Okay, so from this breadcrumb you can see one important thing, that this is a function. It's not a class, it's not a hook, it's a function, so you need to treat it like a function. This is a description of what this function does. It retrieves the post parent object for a given post. The next section is parameters. It tells you that how many parameters this function takes and what are these parameters. This function accepts one parameter called post, which can be an int for a post ID and can be a post object, or can be nothing, null. And from this null, we understand that it's optional. The next part is return part. Actually, this part is very important for error handling. It tells you that what kind of variable this function returns, what kind of data. So this function returns either a post object or null. So how this can be useful for us, let's see in an example. So in this code, we're gonna get a post parent, so let's get it. And our parameter is 3, which is the post ID, we assume. And we now want to echo the title of this post. So we say echo post. So for now everything seems simple, but what if the post doesn't exist? What if we don't have a post with a post ID of 3? Okay, now it's time for error handling. So we say if we have the post, echo the title. If we don't have it, show the right message. So what can be this condition? From the return type, we see that either it's a post object or either it's null. We don't have a specific method to see if a data is a post object or not, but we can check the being null. So we say if then echo the title. And if we don't have this post, then echo that. Okay, now for functions, now we have another section called source, which you can see that how this function actually works in WordPress track. And another important part is user contributed notes, which helps you to see how other users work with this function. So in other functions, we see some hooks and how you can use the hooks. So let's browse it. These are all the hooks, like filter hooks and action hooks in WordPress. So you can see it here. Let's check one random hook. Now we're in the page of admin init hook. It tells us that when this hook is fired, the description and more information section tell us more about how we can use this hook and when it's fired. You can see the whole description here, but what I want to talk about now is user contributed notes. You can see here that a lot of users put their code here, so you don't have to write for the simple things and the use cases. I have a description about their code and the code, and this part is very powerful. This hook doesn't have any parameters, so let's another hook. This is an action. Let's see a filter hook that has a parameter. The content is a filter hook that changes the post content whenever we want to show the post content. So it should have a parameter called the content. We can hook into the WordPress content by this filter. So it tells you here the usage cases of this. You can see that how you can use it. This is actually the WordPress official codes. This is not user codes. You can also see the user codes in the bottom of the page. And actually you see the most tricky things in user contributed notes. Some common problems that none of us see, but someone sees it and put it here, so we don't have to scratch our head for one complete day to debug some code. Another part of the WordPress developer references is classes. So let's check one of the most famous classes called WordPress query. So this class helps us to get the post objects from the WordPress database without actually writing SQL codes. So this is a very huge class with a lot of methods and properties. We're not going to talk about it in details. We're just going to talk about how we can use this documentation page. Actually, I need to do another video on this class. But now you can see that in the more information section, there is a lot of description about how you can use this class and what are the most important things about it. In the right section, you have a navigation kind of things that tells you that what is the usage, what is properties and methods, what is parameters that it should use in the arguments array. And in the bottom you can see the methods, changelog, and user contributed notes. My favorite part. You can see here that every parameter has a detailed description. For example, let's check the tag parameters. You can get the post by tag parameters like tag ID, or tag slug or everything. And there is an example for each of it. And this is actually the power. Another part is methods. This methods section actually is not a new thing. It's just the methods of the classes, so there is not much into it to explain. You can click on every method in the classes and see the description and documentation there. And for the last word, I know there is a lot of tutorials out there that talk in details and tell you step by step how to do things, and they're great, but your final and official resource should be this. Feel free to leave us a comment and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.